Welcome back to Superbly Said Advanced English Vocabulary and Phrases. And today we are pulling our material directly from a SpeakDuo lesson. It's actually themed around that classic British comedy, Fawlty Towers.
Oh, such a brilliant show.
It really is. And, before we really get into the weeds today, I just want to quickly mention that you can go to SpeakDuo.com to meet new people from all around the world who are practicing English on video calls. It's really the best way to become more confident with your speaking abilities.
Absolutely. And we are going straight into the idioms today. These phrases are tailored specifically for advanced English learners. So we're aiming to help you sound, much more natural, whether you're dealing with colleagues at work or maybe aiming for a really high fluency score in your IELTS settings.
Right, because, communicating effectively at work, you have to sort of establish boundaries. And that brings us to our first phrase, which is about setting the stage, really. The phrase is, in this day and age, and when I look at this, I always wonder, why wouldn't someone just say currently? Like, what is the actual difference?
Well, there's a pretty big psychological difference there. If you just say currently, you're just stating an objective fact about time, right?
Yeah.
It's a bit dry.
Yeah, totally.
But when you use in this day and age, you're adding this reflective, almost philosophical tone. You're acknowledging how much life has fundamentally changed compared to the past.
Okay, so it adds some cultural weight to what you're saying.
Precisely. It's a much more nuanced way to speak.
So if I'm answering an IELTS speaking part 2 question about technology, I wouldn't just say, currently people use apps. I'd say, in this day and age, I use apps for almost everything, from shopping to banking. Or in this day and age, my friends prefer texting over calling.
Exactly. It shows the examiner you can reflect on society, not just, state the obvious.
Right. Now, in this day and age, we definitely run into people who try to test the rules at work, which brings us to tried it on.
Yes, tried it on. This is a great behavioral metaphor.
It makes me think of, like, trying on clothes at a mall. But obviously, this is different.
Yeah, it means attempting to deceive someone or push their boundaries. But, and this is key, it's less severe than saying someone deceived you.
Oh, because deceived sounds like straight up fraud.
Right. Deceived is malicious. Tried it on is much more about, testing the waters, seeing exactly what you can get away with before someone stops you.
I love that. It's actually like a child testing a substitute teacher's rules. They aren't trying to be completely evil. They just want to see if the teacher will enforce the homework policy.
That is the perfect analogy.
So at work, a customer might ask for a huge discount after using a product for months, and you'd say, oh, they just tried it on. Or a vendor quotes an artificially high price. They tried it on.
Exactly. And when people try it on, as a professional, you have to establish firm boundaries, which leads us to put it on the line.
Put it on the line, meaning speaking directly.
Very directly and firmly. But the nuance here, compared to just being honest, is the element of risk.
Oh, like you're risking your reputation.
Yeah, professional or personal risk. You are just sharing a casual opinion. You are putting yourself out there by being bluntly truthful.
Wow, okay. So say a project is failing, you wouldn't just send a quiet email. You'd speak openly in a meeting and put it on the line about the problem.
Right. You demand clearer responsibilities, even if it creates tension.
But then how do you manage that tension? Because that's awkward.
Well, a lot of people use humor, but eventually you have to pivot back to business. And that is where you'd use joking aside.
Ah, okay. So it's a transitional phrase.
It is. It shifts the tone from humorous right back to serious. It basically signals to the room that playtime is over.
So a boss might laugh with the team and then say, joking aside, we really should agree on the deadline before this meeting ends.
Exactly. Or in IELTS, if you make a joke about your terrible cooking, you can quickly pivot with, joking aside, my real goal is to learn a language to travel.
That's super useful. But man, constantly putting it on the line and dealing with people who try it on that is stressful. It takes a lot of resilience.
It really does take mental endurance. Which brings us to our next set of phrases, starting with, put your mind to it.
Right. And to me, this sounds like just trying hard. Is there more to it?
There is. Trying can be brief or half-hearted, but putting your mind to it implies an active, sustained mental focus. You are deeply committed to overcoming a challenge.
Oh, I see. So it's about prolonged focus. Like I put my mind to learning a language quickly, or I put my mind to cooking full meals from scratch. It's an active effort.
Yes. But, sometimes even when you put your mind to it, things still go wrong. And that brings us to a very classic British idiom, which is keep your pecker up.
Okay, I have to jump in here. Because to an American ear, keep your pecker up sounds quite sketchy.
I know,
Yeah.
but I promise it is completely innocent in British English.
I believe you, but I had to clarify for the listeners.
Well, historically, it refers to a bird's beak or a person's chin. So it just means keep your chin up, stay cheerful during a difficult time.
Right. But how is it different from just surviving a hard time?
The difference is the active outward maintenance of a positive attitude. You aren't just enduring it, you're staying visibly cheerful.
Like going for walks or talking with friends to stay positive after a setback. But wait, let me ask you about the next phrase, which is take it like a man.
Right, which means enduring something with stoicism.
Yeah. So are taking it like a man and keeping your pecker up essentially just two sides of the same coin? Like one is internal stoicism and the other is external cheerfulness.
Wow, that is a brilliant synthesis. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. Taking it like a man is the quiet, calm internal acceptance, like listening calmly to criticism, while keeping your pecker up is the external social regulation.
Makes total sense. But honestly, we can't be stoic forever. Eventually things slow down, right? The pressure drops.
Yes. And that brings us to the lighter side of things. When the pace slows down, life just ambles along.
Ambles along. That sounds so relaxing.
It is. It means progressing at a slow, leisurely pace. The imagery is of a relaxed walk, rather than just saying something is happening slowly, which can sound frustrating.
Oh, like my weekend just ambles along with reading and coffee. It's a positive, slow pace.
Exactly. But when we are that relaxed, we tend to forget things. Which brings us to slipped my mind.
I use this one all the time. But why say slipped my mind instead of just I forgot?
Because I forgot can sound a bit negligent or irresponsible at work. Slipped my mind softens the blow. It implies the thought was there, but it just briefly escaped you.
It is way more polite. Like, oh, missing that dentist appointment just slipped my mind. Or forgetting to make a call. It sounds less like I didn't care.
Right. And if a colleague says that to you, the perfect polite response is, think nothing of it.
Think nothing of it. Just a nice way to say don't worry about it.
Yes, it diffuses the guilt immediately. Like if someone apologizes for forgetting something, or if you do a favor like fixing their bike or collecting their mail, you just say, think nothing of it.
It's very gracious. And once everyone is relaxed and the guilt is gone, you can just start shooting the breeze.
Which means having a casual, relaxed conversation. It's aimless, low-stakes chatting.
Like talking with a neighbor about books or weekend plans. But, shooting the breeze at work usually only happens when the cat's away.
Oh, definitely. From the proverb, when the cat's away, the mice will play, meaning misbehaving when the boss or person in charge is absent.
Yeah, but it's playful misbehavior, right? Like kids sneaking cookies or staying up late watching movies. Or at work, the boss leaves and suddenly everyone is in the break room shooting the breeze.
Exactly. Playful, not malicious. But eventually, the downtime ends, or a long project finishes, and you have to get back to it.
You have to clear out the old stuff.
Yes, you return to the land of the living.
That sounds dramatic.
It is. It means being awake or active after a long sleep or absence. But it feels like a triumphant return from exhaustion.
Oh, I like that. Like after resting for a week with a cold, I'm finally back in the land of the living. And then you probably want to clean up. You want to chuck away things.
Right. To chuck away is to throw something out carelessly. It's so much more casual than saying dispose of.
Like decluttering old clothes or chucking away broken gadgets and receipts. You just toss them.
Without a second thought.
Honestly, you kind of have to chuck away your work stress before you can fully be in the land of the living. And once you do, you're ready to paint the town red.
The ultimate celebration phrase. Going out and celebrating exuberantly.
So not just a quiet dinner.
No, this is wild, highly energetic celebration.
Like celebrating a big promotion with a huge dinner and dancing all night.
Exactly. It's the perfect victory lap.
Well, I think we've covered the concepts beautifully, but now it is time for a quick, interactive SpeakDuo quiz to test your mastery of these advanced phrases.
Oh, this is the best way to really cement what we've learned.
All right, here is how it's going to work. I'm going to announce each question and present the options clearly as option A, option B, and option C. I'll be repeating the target phrase so it really sticks in your head. After I read the options for each question, feel free to pause the podcast here if you need to think about the answer. Then the expert will immediately give you the answer. Ready?
I am ready.
Okay, question 1. Which sentence uses the idiomatic phrase in this day and age correctly based on context? So we're looking for in this day and age.
The Professional Historical Chronology Museum curator was instructed to exhibit in this day and age during the Ancient History Gala.
The deeply frustrated young retail clerk aggressively managed to completely drop a white line.
In this day and age, relying solely on physical paper files for corporate data storage is considered highly inefficient and risky. Feel free to pause the podcast here if you need to think about the answer for "in this day and age."
And the correct answer is option C, about physical paper files. Remember, in this day and age reflects on modern times and how things have changed from the past.
Perfect. Moving on to question 2. Select the context where the phrase "put your mind to it" is most appropriately used figuratively. Let's find "put your mind to it."
Although mastering advanced financial calculus seemed daunting at first, she proved that if you put your mind to it, any objective is achievable.
The professional neurological brain imaging technician was instructed to put your mind to it during the clinical cognitive scan.
The incredibly clumsy warehouse inventory clerk accidentally managed to quickly buy some large systems. Feel free to pause the podcast here if you need to think about the answer for "put your mind to it."
The answer is option A, mastering advanced financial calculus. Put your mind to it means applying yourself with deep focus to overcome a challenge, just like we talked about with learning languages.
Exactly right. Okay, question 3. In which situation does someone accurately utilize the advanced phrase, "paint the town red," contextually? Who is ready to paint the town red?
The professional municipal roadway painting contractor was instructed to paint the town red during the crosswalk renovation.
After successfully closing the multi-million-dollar corporate acquisition, the executive team went out to paint the town red.
The completely terrified young wilderness traveler unexpectedly noticed an exceptionally massive, heavy tool chest. Feel free to pause the podcast here if you need to think about the answer for "paint the town red."
It is option B, the corporate acquisition. Painting the town red is an exuberant celebration, definitely not literally painting a crosswalk.
Right. All right, question 4. Which response best demonstrates the advanced phrase "put it on the line" figuratively? Let's find "put it on the line."
Refusing to hide behind corporate jargon, the director put it on the line and explained the exact reasons for the department's failure.
The professional clothing tailoring haberdasher was instructed to put it on the line during the garment measurement fitting.
The incredibly clumsy warehouse inventory clerk accidentally managed to quickly catch that white balance. Feel free to pause the podcast here if you need to think about the answer for "put it on the line."
The answer is option A, explaining the department's failure.
Mm-hmm.
Putting it on the line is all about speaking directly and taking a professional risk, to be honest.
Awesome. Okay, question 5. How would a professional accurately use the phrase "tried it on" contextually? Who has tried it on correctly?
The professional fashion runway clothing model was instructed to try it on during the designer wardrobe collection shoot.
The completely confused amateur theater group unexpectedly decided to proudly paint a clean frame.
Realizing the client was unhappy, the shady contractor tried it on by charging extra fees for standard services included in the contract. Feel free to pause the podcast here if you need to think about the answer for "tried it on."
The correct answer is option C, the shady contractor charging extra fees. Just like the substitute teacher analogy, "tried it on" means pushing boundaries to see what you can get away with.
Spot on. Question 6. Which scenario perfectly illustrates the meaning of the phrase "ambles along" contextually? Let's look for "ambles along."
The professional athletic sprinting track coach was instructed to make the runners ambles along during the speed workout.
Without any aggressive growth targets or a strict corporate pressure, the family-owned bookstore simply ambles along at a relaxed pace.
The incredibly clumsy hotel maintenance worker accidentally managed to completely drop that red tray. Feel free to pause the podcast here if you need to think about the answer for "ambles along."
Option B is the winner, the family-owned bookstore. Ambles along gives us that lovely imagery of a slow, relaxed, leisurely pace.
Almost done. Question 7. Which sentence accurately utilizes the advanced phrase "to chuck away" contextually? Let's find "to chuck away."
Without realizing that the misplaced folder contained critical audit documents, the temporary clerk chucked it away in the recycling bin.
The professional athletic baseball pitcher was instructed to chuck away the baseball during the bullpen practice.
The deeply confused young kitchen assistant accidentally managed to quickly slice a fresh piece of away. Feel free to pause the podcast here if you need to think about the answer for "to chuck away."
The correct answer is option A, the misplaced folder. Chuck away is carelessly discarding something, like tossing out old clothes or, in this case, critical documents.
And lastly, question 8. Which of the following statements correctly uses "land of the living" contextually? Let's see who is in the land of the living.
The professional wildlife safari, the text just completely cuts off there. It literally just says the professional wildlife safari.
Well, Even though the rest of our options apparently got chucked away by the system, I know you listening already know the answer. Returning to the land of the living means getting back to an active state after sleep or a long absence.
Oh, absolutely. We didn't even need the other options.
No, we didn't. And, as we wrap things up today, I want to leave you with a final thought to mull over. These idioms we've been looking at, which are heavily featured in classic British comedies like Fawlty Towers, they highlight timeless human behaviors.
They really do.
So, my challenge for you is to observe your own native language this week. Think about which of these colorful concepts like testing boundaries by trying it on, or playful misbehavior when the cat's away, actually exist in your own culture's idioms. It is fascinating to see how different languages express the exact same human quirks.
That is such a great challenge. We'll keep practicing, and we will catch you on the next one.